Good morning viewers, my name is Anil Agarwal. I am an astrologer and I have done Jyotish Acharya from Bharati Vidya Bhavan and also done research under the guidance of Mr. K. N. Rao. I have also done Nadi astrology and today I am going to discuss the Shakun and omens which play a very important role in our life. According to me, if a person develops a communication with nature, then most of his problems are solved. I will give you 3-4 examples in which I could give most amazing predictions when I had not even opened the birth charts or prashna charts. One of them I would like to mention very recently. In the month of December, a client called me up in the morning and he told me that he will come around 4 o'clock in the evening. After taking my lunch, I was doing gardening and I noticed a pot which was broken. So I told my servant to replace the pot with a new one. While I was doing it, my wife also intervened and she said, there are 2 plants in this pot, why don't you put these 2 plants in 2 different pots? So what I did was the bigger plant was put at the same place with a new pot, and the smaller plant, I told my servant, since the plant was basil and it can grow anywhere, I told him to put it outside my house where I have some plants. During the process, the gentleman who had taken an appointment from me, he came. You will be amazed. Even before I could open the prashna charts or the birth charts, I asked him, was his query regarding to matrimonial relations? He said yes. I asked him, has your wife left you for good? He said yes. I asked him, has your wife gone to your parents' house? He said yes. I asked him, has your wife gone to the south direction? He said yes. Then I asked him, have you changed your base? He said yes. I asked him again, have you gone, are you doing some business related to Mars? He said yes. Then I asked him, have you also shifted to south? He said yes. He was amazed how I could predict when I did not, even he had not told me anything, and I predicted them everything. What I am trying to tell you is, when a client approaches an astrologer, whatever activity the astrologer is doing, the same would be faced by the client. You see, basil plant, it can grow anywhere, and the pot of the basil had broken. I had changed it with a new pot of red color, of maroon, reddish color, which signifies Mars, and Mars is south direction, and Mars is chemical also, and he had entered into a chemical business. He had shifted to south, and because there were 2 plants, and my wife also intervened, we were 2, and then he came simultaneously. It clearly shows that the query is relating to a couple, and because I had separated the 2 plants and 1 plant I had put outside the house, which means that and basil can grow anywhere. The base of basil plant is anywhere and outside. So, and because the plant was put in the south direction, I told him that his wife has shifted to the south direction. And because the plant was removed with the roots, so this also indicates that his wife will not come back, and that's what his wife told him. So basically he had come to find out whether his wife could come back or not. I told him that I will do some remedy. He asked me what? I said I will put this plant back in the same new pot and let us see what happens. If this plant grows, then there is a possibility of his spouse coming back, and if this plant fades, then the possibility of his wife coming back would also faint. 3 days after, I found the position of both the plants were same. I told him the present status is status quo. Also, one more thing I had noticed, the day when he had come, Rahu was in forward motion. And Rahu is Upakarka for marriage. And if a question pertaining to marital relation comes or marriage comes, and if Rahu is in forward motion, it is most venomous. So I told him that till 23rd of September 2020, there is no possibility of her coming back. But if you try your level best, then there is a possibility. And because the Chatrashi in Prashna had Venus, so I told him that if he tries through a female, a good friend of his wife, then probably she could come back. But the possibility was very poor. In the meantime, you see, I had gone abroad, and I told him when I come back to the country, I would see the plant and see what happens. I told my servant to water the plant properly. When I came back, I found the number of leaves in that plant had reduced. So the aquarist was also very impatient, and he also called me. He knew that I have come back, so he asked me. I said, the number of leaves in the plant have reduced, so your relations are fading. So you have to put a lot of effort to so that the relations between you and your wife are solved. Another episode I will like to tell you. Few years back, my son is abroad, so I wanted to go abroad. I had booked my tickets. Just a week before I had to leave, I had a toothache. My wisdom teeth gave me a problem. So I immediately went to my dentist. My dentist told me that if he had to operate, then the total procedure probably may take 22 days. And since I had to leave after a week, he said it is a very difficult thing to remove the tooth, and the chances that it may be operated are all the more. I got confused, and when we were coming back, I told my wife that look, I would now use the omens. From the dentist to my house was about 1.5 kilometers, and there were there were 2 red light points in between, and it was a very rushy area where traffic moves at quite a pace. And I told my wife that if I do not face any red lights, because red light is Mars and Mars is surgery, so if I don't face any red lights, then there will be no surgery, and then I will come to him tomorrow and get the tooth removed. Fortunately, most amazingly, there were a lot of traffic, but both the red lights, there were no red lights and there were green lights, and then I passed both the red lights. After passing the red lights, my wife immediately said that she had to go to the market to collect some important valuables. So I turned left, and there was a lot of traffic jam. So my wife got down from the car and she went and collected the items and came back. I had to reverse the car. Look, this is very important. I had to reverse the car. That means I have to rethink. If I had gone straight to my house, then probably if I had gone to the dentist, there would have not been any trouble. But since I had reversed my car, it clearly shows that I had to rethink. So while I was reversing, and in astrology, a retrograde planet is like reversing. So when a retrograde planet is there, then you have to go to, if it is in the ascendant, then you have to go to the previous doctor. So while I was reversing, I immediately found that my previous dentist clinic was just at the corner. So, and from there I reached my house without any trouble. So I told my wife that I will not go to that dentist, I will go to this dentist. Then immediately when I came home, I found that moon was exalted that day, and moon was in the Prashna Lagna. Now, moon, Prashna Lagna, according to when a disease Prashna is there, the doctor is signified by the Lagna. And exalted moon shows the doctor will be very beautiful and she will be a female. And fortunately and coincidentally, that my previous doctor was a very beautiful woman and female. So I immediately went to her the next day, and you would not believe it, the total process of removing the wisdom tooth took only 3 minutes, and I came back home and my wife was much surprised that I used the Shakun and omens. Another case I would like to tell you that Nakshatra exhibition is going on and I was invited by few friends. On the 5th of January, although some or the other, I was not very much convinced to go because my inner self said probably it will not bring good results because there is a lot of parking problem. So I hired a Uber, and I did know that all around the exhibition grounds there were diggings, and the gate from where the Nakshatra exhibition normally people enter, that was closed. I asked the Uber person, not knowing this, I got down near the metro station. And when I got down near the metro station, they said all these gates are closed, you have to go 1.5 kilometers on the other side to enter the Nakshatra exhibition. No auto-wheeler, three-wheeler or Uber was prepared to go because there was a traffic jam. So I had to walk 1.5 kilometers. After reaching the place, when there was a long queue for the shuttle to reach the Nakshatra exhibition. You see, and before I had reached the point where I had got down, the taxi had stopped. I can count at least 7 to 8 times because of the traffic jam. It clearly shows 7th house is the path, and when there are planets in the 7th house, malefic planets, then when you travel, there are a lot of troubles. But I said, let me not follow the omens, natural omens, let me see what happens if I go there. In the shuttle also there were about 100 people to get their turn to reach the hall where the Nakshatra exhibition was there. Some or the other, I entered the first shuttle, and when I got down, I was just, I was breathless, and my mouth was totally, I wanted to have water. I couldn't find water anywhere. Then I had to again walk to a small stall where I could get a drink. And after taking a drink, when I wanted to enter the Nakshatra exhibition, there was no place to enter. There was so much of crowd, and I felt choking. So I immediately decided to come back. I didn't even enter, and I decided to come back. When I reached the gate, again nobody was prepared to take because there was a total traffic jam. Fortunately, a three-wheeler came and he said, "Sir, I will take you from the different direction." I said, "No, I will go from the same way because I am reversing. So I am following the path of the nature. I will not face any traffic." He said, "Sir, no, you will face a lot of traffic." Fortunately, I had faced no traffic because the three-wheeler could manage from the sides, and I reached back home. So what my point is that nature guides you at every point of time. It is we don't pay any heed, and if we pay any heed to what nature guides us, most of our problems can be solved. Another case I will tell you. I have been talking about it. I am 72 years of age, and I had a knee problem, and my children told me to go to the best doctor and see if it has to be operated or whatever it is. My cousin who lives opposite my house, his wife, sister, is a very close friend of the well-known doctor Shakuns. And unfortunately, my cousin's wife, sister, remains ill all the time. My wife said that why don't you take appointment through them, because otherwise the appointment may be after 3 months. I said, no, I will not like to take appointment from them because there is negativity, and this is a question of doctor, and the person who knows the doctor remains ill, so I will not use the negative energy. I went on Google, I searched for the doctor, I could see the doctor, and I got immediate foresense that this doctor would be good and I must go to him. So I chose a good time and I rang up the doctor. No receptionist or anybody picked up the phone. Then I immediately sent a mail that I wanted an appointment. After about half an hour, probably because the call is recorded, I got a call back and they gave me an appointment after 2 months. I requested them that if they could give me an appointment within that week. Now, in the morning after I had taken bath and I had shaved, look why I am mentioning shave, I will tell you later. I had shaved, I was just using cream for my face, rubbing the cream on my face and doing a massage, and in the meantime I got a call from the doctor and they gave me an appointment after 3 days. That was probably because I chose a good time and my intentions were very clear, so I got an appointment after 3 days. My wife asked me, can you tell what will be the result? Will there be an operation or what? I said, look, if the call had come while I was shaving, I was using the blade, then the blade could be used because blade is Mars and Mars is surgery. Since I was rubbing my face with a cream, the doctor would tell me to do physical therapy. Fortunately and coincidentally, when I went to the doctor, he suggested me the same. So what I am trying to tell you is, and lay emphasis is, that nature guides you at every point of time. It is we that who neglect it and don't follow the nature. If we follow the nature, then most of our problems will be solved. That is what I wanted to stress and tell all my friends and astrology lovers. Thank you.